I suppose you can't count the business that I had at school, but maybe you can. Hi, I'm Vicky from Pink Lime Mango. I'm an artist and a jeweller based in Bristol, UK. So I make bright, bold and colourful handcrafted jewellery suitable for people with sensitive skin. So my latest collection I'm actually wearing, and they're made out of resin, so these are handcrafted. I made the silicone moulds as well to put the actual pieces in. So, and these hooks are actually made out of sterling silver, so this is actually recycled silver wire, so that's really great. I'm really happy with these because I could use recycled silver wire. Sometimes it's hard for me to source products that are recycled silver, like the posts. An example of some of my earrings are next to me here. So these are actually my own pair, but I love them. They're made out of polymer clay, so they're really lightweight. And yeah, I've used different patterns, so I mix each individual colour of clay, and I mix each of the black and white stripes, for instance, and then put them together, cut them out, put textures on, make patterns, bake them in the oven, and then sand them so they're nice and smooth against the skin, and then assemble them. And I try to use sterling silver where possible, and I'm moving towards using recycled silver in all of my jewellery for the posts and the hooks and the hoops. Sustainability is really important to me, so throughout running my business since 2020, I've been lucky enough to be awarded a Sustainable Impact Champion Award in 2022. These are also some of my earrings. I love these. I normally use really bright colours, but I also love black and white. So it also goes back to the days where I used to wear all black. I'm quite colourful now in what I wear and in the earrings I make, but I do still like to kind of have something that's quite dark in the collection and quite gothic. I love these. I hand cut all of the little hearts out of polymer clay and then attached them to these striped tops, which are heart-shaped. I'm kind of continually working towards finding, you know, the most responsible suppliers for things like my packaging. And yeah, so where possible, I try to avoid using plastic. I'm very mindful of only producing small batches of jewellery. That's really important to me. I only make one of each piece, so it's really rare that I'll do duplicates of any of my pieces, and even if I do, there's still a slight difference because they're all individually handmade. I love doing markets, so my most recent one was at Bristol Beacon, and that was the Made in Bristol gift fair, which was brilliant. Yeah, I had a lot of feedback about my my stall. A lot of people said it was very professional, which was great. And yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you because I did make a lot more sales than I normally would at that market, so it was great. Thank you to the organisers. So I'm hoping to do a lot more markets in 2024 because that's a great way for me to see firsthand what people think of my jewellery, and you know, I can see what styles they'll pick up and what colours they like, and it's really useful for me to know that because I kind of don't want to get bored of what I'm making, so I don't make the same thing over and over again. I will make new patterns in the clay or try new things like making my own silicone moulds to put the resin into to make my own shape. So this is something that I'm very keen on, to make my own custom shapes, whether that's in clay or in resin. So I even went, when I first started my business, I even went to the lengths of designing my own earring shapes and then getting the cutters. So I'll go and find one of the cutters so you know what I'm talking about. I designed my own cutters and then sent them to a company to have them 3D printed. So this is my batwing cutter. So I call them batwings just because that's the first thing it reminded me of. But yeah, I'm really happy with these. They've got a sharp edge. Unfortunately, I think the business that made these, Chip Chop Shop, are not making cutters anymore. But yeah, I was really happy with them. These are the arch cutters that I got custom made, because back in 2020 it was hard for me to get the cutters that I really wanted to use to make up these really nice shapes of polymer clay. So these are the arches that I used to make that shape, but also in polymer clay. So I can also make resin pieces. So what I do, I will make a acrylic blank or even a polymer clay blank, put that into the silicone mold, and then when I pour resin in, it'll give me the same shape. So yeah, that's been fun experimenting with resin. Actually, I've really enjoyed it. But I think once I finish this current batch of resin I've got, I'm not sure if I'm going to do any more, because it's probably not the most sustainable material to use. I'm always thinking of ways that, you know, are there materials that I could reuse? Like, I know some artists use recycled leather or fabric in their creations, but right now, because I have got some stock of polymer clay, I'm going to finish that first. I'm quite excited to start making small canes. So my next project is to clear my little corner of my studio, which is like, I call it my studio, but it's actually the corner of my dining room. So I've just got a couple of tables set up in the corner where I make my jewellery from. And this is also, when it's tidy, this is also where I package my jewellery. But I thought it would be quite fun to do a YouTube studio vlog of me tidying this space and kind of, you know, there's things that I need, like I need to put shelves up, I need to get drawers, I need better storage. So at the moment I've got everything in these great big tubs. So that's where I store all of my jewellery and supplies and things. So it would be quite nice to have like a designated space for everything. And I do have a computer, it's sort of tucked away in the other corner of my dining room. So that's where I do a lot of my admin. So running a business is quite a lot of admin. I don't think I realised when I first started, sort of, I kind of envisioned myself to be making jewellery all the time and designing jewellery. But actually I'm doing a lot of marketing and a lot of admin, and yeah, learning how to do my own bookkeeping. So there's the financial side of it as well. I've learned a lot in the last 3 years. Yeah, so it's been really good. I hope I've introduced myself well. I can tell you a few things about me. So I've got quite a varied history of like the jobs that I've done. So I've had actually 17 different jobs, mostly admin jobs, but I've also worked within the NHS, which is like the healthcare service in the UK. And I've actually done so many jobs. Like I think I worked in the NHS for 14 years, and then I decided to study art. So I studied art as a mature student. I did a BA in art and visual culture, so that was my undergraduate degree. And then I loved it so much, I went straight on to do a master's degree, and that was in fine art. So I'm actually trained as a fine artist, and my speciality, so what I love is sculpture and installation art. And during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, I was actually in an office job where I'd been for a few years, and that was kind of a nice break after studying for, 7 years straight, I think it was. And I just wanted to do like a kind of fun job. I was working in a contact centre, but during lockdown, I can remember thinking, right, I need to change. I need to do something that uses my creative abilities, that makes me feel happy. So I actually took voluntary redundancy from that job and started my business, which is one of the scariest things I've done. So my plan was to side hustle rather than go straight in and go full time with self-employment. But I decided to go for it, and it's probably one of the best decisions I've made, because it means that I could totally focus on getting better, because I was actually ill at the time, but also it made me happier to do what I wanted to do. So in terms of my health. It was 100% the best thing to do. And yeah, I'm so glad I did it. And you know, I've had a lot of encouragement from my customers and my friends and my family, and it's like there's been times where I've like thought, oh my god, am I doing the right thing? And you know, I've talked to other jewelers, especially in the past year, because I've been to these networking events and met a lot of jewelers, and it's been great. From doing a course in sustainability, I've met other like-minded creatives, and they've kind of spurred me on. You know, from doing this recent market at Bristol Beacon, I was really encouraged. You know, I was told by another jeweler that a lot of makers have said that 2023 was their hardest year, and they've been in the business for years. You know, I still think I'm like a micro business. I've only just started really, because I'm only in my 3rd year, and you know, that was starting from scratch. I'd not run a business before, so I had a lot to learn. And I suppose you can't count the business that I had at school, but maybe you can. So when I was about, I don't know, 13, 14, I started a little business at school selling brooches made out of polymer clay to my schoolmates. So I can remember feeling really like happy because I broke even, and so paid for all of the, you know, clay that I bought and equipment. So that was brilliant. So yeah, I suppose that was my very first business. But yeah, Pink Lime Mango is my first serious business where I've set up a website. So in August 2020, I launched pinklimemango.com. So all of my colourful jewellery is available there to, you know, have a browse. But I also do pop-up events like artisan markets. I do craft fairs. I'm hoping to do a lot more in 2024. And yeah, so I quite often sort of advertise what I'm doing next on Instagram. So my handle there is pinklimemango. I also have a trusty amount of like email subscribers. So that's another way where I will always let my email subscribers know first about my events and any sort of discounts I've got, or any sales, or any new collections. So it's worth subscribing to my newsletter. I do post things on Instagram, but I'm trying not to use that as much, because it does soak up a lot of my time, where I could be spending that doing, you know, useful things like emailing my customers directly or starting a YouTube vlog. So yeah, I'm kind of like shifting the way I do things a little bit, just as an experiment. So I wanted to start a YouTube channel because I kind of wanted to see if I enjoyed it. I want to see if it's fun. It's something that I've thought about doing for a long time, and I thought I just need to start, you know, rather than watching loads of other people's podcasts and vlogs, I need to just see if I like it. So I understand that filming and editing is going to take a long time while I get used to it. So I have actually planned a list of probably 55 titles of different YouTube vlogs I'd like to try out, but I'm taking it one step at a time. So my goal is to do perhaps 10 of these studio vlogs, then review. So I haven't got the best equipment. I'm actually filming this on my iPhone, and I'm using a softbox which I borrowed from my son, who's a photographer. So it's kind of like, I don't want to invest in expensive camera equipment until I know. So I am actually going to be editing this probably on a trial version of Final Cut Pro or even iMovie at this rate. It's really exciting. So things I've got planned for this year, I've got, like I said, I wanted to do more in-person events, so more markets. I really want to just kind of get my head down and make, because I think last year I stopped myself from making because I was very focused on, I need to clear some of the older stock I've got before I can make new stuff. And then I realised that's holding me back. So what I'm doing for January is having a sale on my website, and I've discounted a few of my items, but I've also provided a discount code, which is Welcome Back 10, and that gives you 10% off all of the items on my website. That's until the 31st of January 2024. So I will be adding some of, you know, my older pieces to the sale section, because I do want to make space for new jewellery. Basically, I tend to make a lot of earrings because that's what I enjoy making, but I also make necklaces, brooches. I've got some necklaces here actually, I'll show you them. So this one's called the amethyst necklace, and I put them on ribbon because I quite like that you can just make a bow at the back and you can adjust the length to how you want it. So these are actually beads that I made a long time ago, but then I decided to put them together to make this beautiful necklace, and yeah, I love it. It's called the Millefiori technique. I think that means 1,000 flowers. So yeah, you kind of make like a stick of rock shape, and then you slice pieces off and then stick them to a ball and then roll them, and then when you bake them the clay goes hard. So I usually put the holes in before I bake the beads, it makes it easier. And there's another necklace here. That's cool. It's like a mustard yellow and kind of like a fuchsia pink and white pattern, but again that's like a flower pattern but with different size kind of yeah, different size patterns on each bead. It's cool. I hope that was a good introduction to me and my brand, and I look forward to do more of these vlogs. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please do hit the like button because I'm sure that's going to help me out a lot. Provide any comments if there's some particular vlog that you'd like to see in the future, do let me know. But yeah, thank you for watching.